Good evening. Welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Ngozi Okoye. Nigeria has launched its 2018 humanitarian response plan aimed at reaching persons displaced by the insurgency in the country's northeast region. The 2018 plan, which is in collaboration with the United Nations World Food Programme, was launched by the UN Humanitarian Resident Coordinator, Edward Cullen. The UN plans to raise $1.05 billion to assist an estimated 6.1 million people in Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states. The 2018 plan also has three key objectives. The first is to provide life-saving emergency assistance to the most vulnerable people in conflict-affected areas, ensuring that assistance is timely and to scale. The second is to ensure that all assistance promotes the protection, safety, and dignity of affected people and is provided equitably to women, girls, men, and boys. The third is to help people kickstart their lives again and also reconstruct the foundations of their lives so that they are better prepared to face future crises. Meanwhile, in a bid to find a lasting solution to the insecurity crisis in the country, the National Assembly on Thursday began a two-day security summit in Abuja. Key speakers at the summit include the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, the leadership of the National Assembly, and federal lawmakers. The summit, which is taking place at the Nigerian Air Force Conference Center, Abuja, is aimed at providing an all-inclusive platform for finding long-term solutions to the security challenges in Nigeria. Still on the security summit, the Vice President in his address at the summit has suggested the establishment of a state police. According to him, the state policing system is the way to go because having a centralized system cannot effectively secure the nation. However, despite calling for the creation of state police, Osinbajo also wants the Nigerian police force to be strengthened and proposed the current number of police in the country be tripled. He also called for more funding for the police as well as other security agencies. His comments come at a time when the police have come under criticism, with some questioning its ability to effectively play its role. The Nigerian military says it has arrested some suspected headers in Benue State, Middle Belt region of Nigeria. A statement by the Assistant Director, Army Public Relations, 707 Special Force Brigade, Nigerian Army, Major Olubisi Ayeni, the suspects were arrested while planning a fresh attack on a fish farm belonging to the State Governor, Samuel Otom. News of the arrest comes just a day after the military announced launch of a special operation to tackle the farmers' headers crisis. The new operation, which is to last for 44 days, has been codenamed Exercise I Am Akpam Utom and is targeted at criminals in Benue, Taraba, Kogi, Nasarawa, Kaduna, and Niger states.
Exercise I Am Akpatuma has become more expedient due to upsurge in cases of armed banditry, kidnapping, and cattle rustling in Kaduna and Niger states, as well as other sundry crimes in Kogi State and herdsmen and farmers' clashes and attacks on innocent members of our communities, particularly in Benue, Taraba, and Nasarawa states by armed militias. These security challenges have continued unabatedly in these states despite the efforts by sister security agencies to curb them. This exercise will be conducted in conjunction with other security agencies such as Department of State Services, the Nigerian Police, Immigration Services, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense, and others. It will also afford the troops an opportunity to effectively checkmate the dreadful activities of the marauding criminal militias perpetrating criminal acts in these states and its environs.
The need to protect Nigerian citizens and Cameroonian refugees in the border town of Cross River State attracted the attention of the Senate on Wednesday. The Red Chamber, among other resolutions, urged the Nigerian Military Authority to increase security presence and intensify border patrol within the area to prevent further acts of trespass by the Cameroonian soldiers. The lawmakers have also summoned the Minister of Defense, Mansour Dan Ali, to explain the alleged invasion of communities in Cross River State by Cameroonian military forces. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has said it will take delivery of 2 cargoes of petrol per day for the rest of February to boost supply and eradicate queues. A statement by the NNPC spokesman Ndu Muhammadu on Thursday stated that 2 cargoes of 50 million litres each, making a total of 100 million litres, will be brought in per day in February to replenish strategic reserves. The statement follows months of severe petrol scarcity across the country. The government has failed to resolve the crisis despite repeated promises. Advocacy group Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP) has beamed its searchlight on corruption in the education sector. The group, in partnership with the MacArthur Foundation, on Thursday in Lagos, launched its latest reports highlighting how federal universities in Nigeria have been stripped apart by corruption. It also proffered ways to address the issue and improve Nigeria's education system.
The education sector is the foundation for nation building, in my opinion. Like they say, if you get the foundation wrong, the building is wrong ab initio. You have an idea of how our future has been stolen. Of course, we read so much that we do not even give a thought to. One vice chancellor, I think about 2-3 vice chancellors are currently on trial for corruption using their offices. There are so many others that are funding money quietly. That is the vice chancellor. Go through the Senate, the faculty, the registry, the librarian, the dean of faculties in the university. Then look at the polytechnics, the secondary schools, the colleges of education, the primary schools, the ministries, and we have a picture of how our future is being stolen.
To curb corruption, these are the things government and its anti-corruption agencies should do. First of all, is to put in place a system for promptly punishing convicted wrongdoers in the universities, irrespective of personalities involved. You can see they had about 10 different recommendations for government to follow. They said the government should also ensure that they provide a hotline for reporting corrupt practices directly to authorities. Introduction of whistleblowing on campus to create awareness of corruption and provision of incentives for whistleblowing corrupt practices, and the proper monitoring of funds given to universities by management.
If the funds are well managed, we shouldn't be having the problem we're having now. But how are you going to monitor the funds? The most vibrant segment of the university community is the student movement. Today, how many campuses have viable student unions? UNILAG, for 10 years, until a couple of years ago, banned the student union. Now, how do you train future leaders if they cannot organize themselves at the local level? So please, if we are going to stop the stealing of the fund in the universities, we need to strengthen the capacity of the campus unions and make them independent or autonomous of the government and the campus tyrants, as it were.
The Nigerian government has stepped in to calm the controversy which trailed the recall of the suspended Executive Secretary of National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, Usman Yusuf. Yusuf was recalled by President Muhammadu Buhari despite still being investigated by a panel set up by the Minister of Health, Isaac Adewale, in June 2017 for alleged gross misconduct. The recall had drawn the anger of many political stakeholders, including the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP. However, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has assured that his recall will not affect the ongoing investigation. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is seeking partnership with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, for a hitch-free 2019 elections. The 2019 presidential elections are scheduled for February 16, 2019, while governorship and state assembly are to hold a week later. Key stakeholders in both bodies met on Thursday to modify a strategic partnership ahead of the polls.
As we approach the 2019 general elections, Mr. Chairman will require the support of your commission, essentially in two ways. Number one, INEC is worried by the recent trend of open vote buying at polling stations, where candidates and parties go to polling stations with sacks and sacks of money to induce voters. Votes of citizens and only votes of citizens should determine who wins in an election. Our democracy must never be on sale on the open market. It's the will of the people that it should determine who wins. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, we look forward to working very closely with the EFCC to ensure that we do the needful. The second area is again related to finances, but this time around is about party and campaign finance. The Electoral Act places limits as to the amount parties and individuals can spend on election, and also the amount that friends of candidates and parties can contribute in any election. Would like the EFCC, which has both the mandate and the capacity to track and to trace sources of funds, to work very closely with us so that we operate within the limits of the law.
The evil in corruption is affecting everybody, every Nigerian, both within and outside Nigeria. Some people have to run out of this country to escape from the evil in corruption. So wherever I find myself, I want to appeal to every Nigerian to join in the fight against corruption. We are not shying away from this. Corruption is a disaster. It has done too much damage to this country.
What do you want to buy?
Potato. Small basket. I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft.
Madam, wallahi, make her no buy them. Make her show you something. What? What in this one? Madam, this one now the chemical where they put on for the plantain make her ripe up.
So you dey put chemical for plantain where people go chop?
No, water, no be chemical.
Water. You know, say Pela, I don't talk and say water and not be enemy. Drink them.
Where you collect that water, drink them.
I just stop finish. See my belly. I found it don't big. I just stop drink water finish.
Where can drink them now? At the sell and plantain, I go come put them for chemical because I want to make a ripe go. That's why I talk now corruption. Corruption. Not be for this kaswa, come not be for this country. Now me take them.
Corruption not in my country.
To business news now. The Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, has taken the country-wide campaign of the Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme, VADES, to the southeastern state of Enugu. VADES, which began last year, July, is a tax amnesty program that provides a time-limited opportunity for tax defaulters to truly declare their assets and incomes and spread payment of taxes owed on previously undeclared income and assets over a maximum 3-year period. VADE also provides that voluntary declarers will be free of penalty and interest on owed taxes, tax audits, and escape prosecution. The Nigerian Stock Exchange All-Share Index on Thursday depreciated by 0.49% to close the day at 43,000. Similarly, the market capitalization ended the day at 15.5 billion naira. The top advancers list had Fort Oil, International Breweries, Dangote Cement, and Flour Mill with an increase of 4.9, 2.61, 0.38, and 2.48% respectively. The four top losers of the day were Nestle, Nigeria Brewers, Stanbic, and First Bank of Nigerian Holdings. The top traders table was dominated by the financial sector, having Sterling Bank, Sky Bank, UBA, and Jaiz Bank. A total turnover of 2.220 billion shares worth 7.495 billion naira in 5,468 deals were traded on Thursday by the investors of the floor of the exchange. Oil prices fell to their lowest in 6 weeks on Thursday after data showed U.S. crude output had reached record highs and the North Sea's largest crude pipeline reopened following an outage. Brent crude futures dropped 58 cents to $64.93 a barrel, while U.S. futures fell 48 cents to $61.31 a barrel. Brent futures have lost about 8% since reaching to 4-year high above $71 in last January. And to the foreign scene now, the United Nations missions in South Sudan says armed gun group have released more than 300 children, out of which 87 of them are girls, in the southern region of Yambio. The children will now begin the process of learning new skills and reintegrating into their communities. It is the largest release of children abducted by the armed group in nearly 3 years since war broke out in the country. In 2013, just 2 years after they gained independence, all sides in the South Sudanese conflict have been accused of using children soldiers. South Africa's ruling African National Congress, ANC, has been preparing to fire Jacob Zuma as head of state this week, according to leaked comments from a top party official. However, a negotiated exit now looks more likely. The ANC has scheduled a meeting on Wednesday evening of its National Executive Committee, which has the authority to fire Zuma, but cancelled it late on Tuesday after constructive talks between new ANC leader Cyril Ramaphosa and Zuma. Ramaphosa said on Wednesday he was holding direct talks with Zuma over a transition of power, and he hoped to conclude their discussion in coming days. To sports now, Nigeria Super Eagles have unveiled their jersey for the 2018 World Cup. The Super Eagles are one of Africa's 5 representatives to the World Cup. The 2013 African champions are in Group D alongside Argentina, Croatia and Iceland in the World Cup. They begin with a game against Croatia and end the group stage against Argentina. As preparations for the tournament, the Eagles will play friendly matches against Poland, England, Serbia, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Czech Republic. Camping is expected to begin on May 22 in Abuja or Uyo. The final phase of camping will be in Austria. The Confederation of African Football (CAF) has officially released the cash entitlements of all teams that participated at the 5th African Nations Championship in Morocco. The new figures show with second-place Nigeria earned the sum of $400,000 and not $750,000 as widely flaunted. Nigeria finished as runner-ups after losing 4-0 in the final to host Morocco. It was, however, Nigeria's best ever finish at the CHAN tournament. And that is it on News Now. I am Ngozi Okoye. Thanks for watching.